First time he said it, I really don't like it because I like it only us. I don't want other people to be involved, partnering syndication. So the reason we went there is just to prove that he was wrong. I'm like, I don't like it. So it's a 3 days conference. Second day, I'm like, sign up. I'm like, what are you talking about? I thought that you don't believe it. Well, if you have a background in business and you talk to people and you do your research, I'm not talking about just one people. I talk multiple people and the response is all good. And I'm like, you know what? Go for it. Go for it.
Hello, everyone. We're Jacqueline and Melvin Landry, and we welcome you to our podcast, Get Diversified. Throughout these series, we'll cover all the topics and questions you have about investing in apartment buildings, storage facilities, and mobile home parks. Being knowledgeable in these areas will help you feel more comfortable about investing. Apartment investing equals building wealth. Building wealth equals financial freedom. Achieving financial freedom allows you to spend your time with building memories with your loved ones. Let's face it, time is the one element in life that is limited, and you don't want to waste it.
Hello, folks, and welcome to another episode of Get Diversified. We are in continuation of our Power Couple series, and today, folks, we have a dandy. We have the Sebastians, Mr. Roberto and Miss Jennifer. So welcome to the show, folks. How are we doing today?
Yeah, thank you very much, Melvin and Jacqueline, for inviting us for this podcast. We're greatly honored.
Yeah. Hi,
Good,
everyone.
good, good. Hey.
Thank you for giving us an opportunity to be on this podcast.
Indeed. Hey, we deem you two as the ultimate power couple in the space of multifamily, and we're happy to have you here on our show today. So, hey, to kickstart things off, why don't you tell our listeners a little bit about you, where you're from, and your journey, and how you got into the world of real estate and multifamily specifically.
So you can start, Jennifer.
Well, upon growing up, it's normal for me because we've been in apartment business ever since I was a kid. So I start in apartment, duplex, fourplex, sevenplex. I keep growing since I was 13 years old at the Philippines. And if you are the eldest, I just don't have a choice. Well, actually, I do have a choice, and I choose to follow my parents' advice, help them and continue to grow.
Mm-hmm. So both of us were born and raised in in the Philippines. Turkey, she lives about like south of Manila, so about 45 minutes away without traffic. But the traffic's about like 3 hours. My case, I live in Tondo, Manila, which is one of the poorest part of Manila, which is about 3 miles away from what we call Smoky Mountain. It's a landfill community where people usually support themselves by picking up trash and selling it. And it was a very hard neighborhood to live in, but with my family's hard work and perseverance, we're able to went through the process and able to get out from that community. And we spent time. Initially, we set up a business a nice business, and through my family's hard work, able to complete our education. Eventually, in the mid 90s, we migrated to the United States. And before I went to the Philippines, I finished my medical school. But then coming into the United States, it's very hard. It's going to be difficult because I have to start from scratch. So meaning I'm not going to be a doctor here. It's going to take me some time for that journey. But we came in and I met Jennifer and we got married. And that's where the journey comes in because for the next 3 years, it was difficult because it was difficult to get into the physician training programs. We're talking about like 1,000 applications per year. And during those next 3 years, I was rejected 3,000 times. It was hard. But at the same time also, I have to support the family also because I have to do it. I'm the family provider. Then I have to work on different jobs. Initially, I was a newspaper boy man. Then I became a lab assistant. Then I even I work as a caregiver also. And ultimately become a medical assistant. And we're not going anywhere with our journey. So me and Jennifer took a risk. We will live in Las Vegas, and we decided to live to Virginia. And with only how much do we have?
Yeah, actually we don't.
We don't.
We don't have any money, actually, because that money is being given to us by my parents. It's only 500 because they feel sorry for us, and that's why I'm like, okay, because they're totally against it. Because during that time, I already have a good job in Las Vegas because that's where we met, Las Vegas, and then I'm in assisted living. We got assisted living back then in Vegas, and then I'm also I'm a car dealer, not black like a blackjack dealer, roulette dealer. So during the at morning I go to school, and then noontime I help the assisted living, and then nighttime I work in a casino. So it's
Wow.
yeah, so it's like a lot of chore for me, but I love what I'm doing. I'm enjoying it. And then here comes that we got married, and Robert was jobless. But I fall in love, so I'm like, okay. And my parents totally against it, but they support us. And since like in my mind, if I can give up my career, I support my husband because I came from my parents like the man is the one who's a breadwinner in the family. So I decided to give up my career because I can always go back since I'm here in United States. It's a land of opportunity. So I give up my career and follow my heart, support Robert in we move in East Coast. That's in Virginia. And my parents said, you know what? Here's 500. You pay us if you want to. If not, that's fine. Uh, go for your journey, and we support you, and we wish you good luck. You know. And
Wow.
going
So
forward, yeah.
I have a question for you, Jennifer. Roberto, what, moving to the U.S. must have been super hard, as you just explained. What kept you from just throwing your hands up and saying, "Why, man, are we going to be able to do this?" Like, what was the main driver to really keep that drive in you, Jennifer, and working all of those hours, and you, Roberto, doing everything that you did? What was the main driver or the burning thing inside of you that kept you going?
Where for me, like I said earlier, I know that he can do it because every challenges in my life, if you decided your focus, eventually it will come true. You know, if you're laser focus and you never give up, you just keep going. Eventually, it will happen. You will discover the secret
Got
of
it.
sauce. Yeah.
In my case, I
Awesome.
have this two word phrase question I always ask myself during that journey. I always ask myself, what if? What if I stop applying? What's gonna happen? What if, for example, if I reach my golden years, if I'm on my like laying down on my bed, my old age, I'm gonna ask myself, what if I continue that journey, and I decided to stop, and that's the biggest guilt. I don't want to have that guilt during that time in my life, and I want to give the best for my family also, and that also defines my identity also at that moment. That I've always been in the medical field. I want to help people and make a difference in the community. So that really pushed me a lot, and it's not going to happen without my wife's support also, because I really started to give up at that moment. But then he's the one who keeps on pushing me to move on, and she already gave me an ultimatum on the last year of my application. If I don't get it, then we have to move to a different life option. And we took that chance, and yeah, we did it. And ultimately,
Wow.
we got accepted. Yeah.
Sometimes that ultimatum that I give him, like this is your last year, and I'm not going to support you anymore. That drives him to go 10 times further. He do more research. He find which one he will apply, because before he's only focused on one little things. Oh, I just want to be a for what specialty is that?
Yeah, initially it was like pathology.
He only focused in pathologies for the last few years, and when I tell him this is the last year, he focused different specialty. And that's the time that he got more opportunity. And that's the time that he got accepted.
Yeah. So I got
Awesome.
like 7 opportunities, 7 interviews. Then from there on, from
Nice.
zero went to seven,
To seven.
and from there I got accepted. Yeah.
Awesome. So what brought you how did you get to multifamily? What was what was the path to get you to multifamily from working one, two, three, four jobs at a time?
So what happened is, yeah, we thought we already already reached our goal. We got accepted in training. Then for the next about at least 14 years at that time, we are we're working hard. We're getting a good practice and providing good income for my family for the future. But then as time goes by, we started to have less and less time to each other. We used to be involved in the community, I mean, among the Filipino American community, and about around 2012 we decided to stop because we have no time at all, and we prefer to just maintain our time with the kids. As time goes by, especially during 2019, 2020, that's where the pandemic comes in also, and we cannot because of the paperwork, the staff. There's a staffing shortage. We're getting a lot of high level demoralization within the workplace. Then I start to realize this is not the path I'm going to take. I'm not going to work for another 60 like 60 hours per week for the next 20 years. By the time I'm already 70 years old, I'm not going to do that. So we started to look for other alternatives. That's where we started to look for multifamily.
Yeah. But
So who found multifamily? Was it you, Jennifer, or you, Roberto?
Yeah, so what happened is, so initially I was thinking about different options. So either doing the stock market or doing single family. And since Jennifer has a lot of experience with single family homes, I asked her, "Is this going to be a good option because you got all the experiences?" And she responded.
well, the first time he said it, I really don't like it because I like it only us. I don't want other people to be involved, partnering syndication. So the reason we went there is just to prove that he was wrong. I'm like, I don't like it. So it's a 3 days conference. Second day, I'm like, sign up. I'm like, what are you talking about? I thought that you don't believe it. Well, if you have a background in business and you talk to people and you do your research, I'm not talking about just one people. I talk multiple people and the response is all good. And I'm like, you know what? Go for it. Go for it. And we took a chance.
And
Awesome. Yeah, it was similar to us too. We kind of attended a conference, and then my husband's light bulb went off, and he
Yeah.
got super excited and kind of came home and started talking to me about multifamily.
Yeah.
And while I was excited, I was like, I was kind of like you, Jennifer. I wasn't quite sure. I was just kind of trusting my husband and saying, okay, well, if you believe in it, then let's go for it because he's kept us, afloat in rough times financially through his single family portfolio. So I said, well, he must know what he's talking about.
Yeah.
So I'm going to kind of give him a chance. Cool. So, with that said, you got into multifamily. How do you guys define your roles in multifamily? Because we all know that there's different roles that you can play. You can play on the asset management side, on the investor relations, on the underwriting side. Jennifer, if you can talk a little bit about what your role is, and then the same for you, Roberto.
Yeah, for us, we like to focus on capital raising. But of course, you have to know it all. You
Okay.
visit the property, you talk to the property managers, all of it. But we want to focus on capital raising because I like to talk to people, different people. And I realized, you know what? We can get money out of this. It's kind of cool because I volunteer a lot being a stay-home mom. We've been married for 25 years and I do a lot of volunteer, and I realize, wow, just talking to people just like volunteering, but you make money because you educate them. Like there is more out there. So that's why we want to focus in capital raising.
so I
Got
guess
it.
Jennifer. So yeah, so we focus mainly on the investor relations, And my part of the partnership right now, me and Jennifer, is try to screen all the deals that we're looking at. Try to see if this deal gonna work with
Mhm.
our potential for our investors, and we'll make a decision from there. So always think about the interest of the investors first and
Yeah.
foremost. So we do all the vetting, um, know all the sponsors.
Mhm.
Also try to find the background of the multiple players, like the property management. What's the other passive investors' experiences with this current potential deal sponsors that we can work on.
Got it. Now, Jennifer, how do you educate people on real estate when you're volunteering? Like, what's the first step, and then what ultimately gets them to say, yes, Jennifer, Roberto know what they're doing. I'm going to invest with them. Like, what steps would you offer to our audience about if they are syndicators who want to play the syndication role? What should they do?
Well, the first thing I will ask them their job first. That's the first thing before, so that I can able to connect with them. And if they said they're a doctor, of course, the majority of the problem of the doctor is the taxes, because they make good money,
Yeah,
Yeah.
but at the end of the year they get hit really bad. It's the same thing with if they own company like assisted living or different company, their taxes. But if it's their employee, I will ask them, do you want to be an employee for the rest of your life? Because if you do, I will not share this experience with you, because this one experience is for the next level. Now, if you want to
yeah.
promote yourself in the next 3 years, 3 to 5 years, then this is for you. And
Got
then
it.
I
And
will,
what's the majority of responses you get, Jennifer, when you ask that question? Is it no, no, I'm good? Because we've talked to some people and they go, yeah, I'm good being a doctor. I'm good working corporate America. So we get a lot of those responses. Do you as well?
yes, I do, but I will listen to them first. And then I will ask them, what's their hobby? Do you really want to work and spend the rest of their time or working instead of spending time with your family? I will challenge
Yeah.
them, and I will listen to them. Sometimes people just want to be heard. And once they've been heard, then they will like listen to you eventually. But that's how I do it. I want to touch their heart first.
Got it. And what about you, Roberto? Do you do the same, or do you take a different approach?
Yeah, this one is the same almost. I try to do is try to explain that to my colleagues at work. Basically, I didn't try to reinvent the wheel. I tried to explain to them. I always tell them this is based on my personal experience. This is based on my personal and experience, and also with Jennifer's experience. Because so we already have some deals already went full cycle. So even before the full cycles, we already explained to them about the distributions that we've been receiving, and about the long term impact of investing in syndications also. And the good news is whenever we have the full cycle, we're able to show them the numbers, the actual numbers, about even the levels of investment that they can put in on the deal. And once they start seeing that, then the light bulbs just lights up also. But like what you
Awesome.
mentioned also, Jacqueline, about sometimes you receive some let's say some no's a lot, like rejections. But we have this principle also that every time we receiving the no, we always getting excited because we know yes will be coming up soon.
Oh,
There you go.
yeah. There was
Yeah.
a time when we're doing capital raise. I'm like, oh my gosh, I got 10 no. Okay. And at that time you will realize you're starting to play. I'm like, okay, it's no anyway, might as well make another phone call. And you'll be surprised after that a lot of no's, 10 is right there, right next to it. And once the yes hit, he kept saying yes. And like all the people that call, because it's about how you approach, the way you deliver, your tone, your body gesture, and how you believe on that deal and who's your partner with.
Yep. Yep. Are you leads on any apartment deals?
We're checking three property right now at this moment, and we will pick eventually which one we will like.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Awesome.
so
Good.
the question we are we prefer to be like our co-GPs in this stage of our journey right now.
Yeah, because we don't want to be the lead sponsor. It's too much headache. I like my vacation. I like my freedom time. Like if there's some deals, they need some more paperwork. I'm on that type of person. I will just park my car and send the information, and eventually I still go for my vacation. I will not cancel my vacation. So
Yeah.
that's why
Yeah.
we want to do the capital raise instead of lead sponsor, co-sponsoring.
That's good. Yeah. Melvin and I were talking about that the other day, and we said, we definitely want to get into the weeds a little bit over the next, 3 to 4 years, right? And then we want to be like you all, where we kind of take a step back,
Yeah.
and put our money in with people that we know, like, and trust, right?
Yeah.
So we can sit back and not have to do the heavy lifting. But we are interested in getting our hands a little dirty,
Yeah.
getting in there and being, very active co-general partner, or even a lead in the next year or so, and kind of getting our hands wet. But then after that, like I said, we're not getting any younger.
Yeah.
So we want to be sitting back on the beach, drinking Mai Tais and enjoying what we've built up to this point. So awesome. I have a question about, business versus personal. So as you guys know, you're a team, just like Melvin and I are a team. How do you separate, real estate from your personal lives? Or is there not a separation?
Well, there was a time when we're doing capital raise and we're all burnt out. And I told to myself, you know what? Sometimes you need to talk to yourself because yourself is give you a best advice too. So I thought
Yes.
to myself, I'm like, you know what? Are we really going to struggle for this, or are we really enjoy the moment? Because sometimes when you have a struggle, that's the best part because that's the time you have unity and talk to your family member. Hey, this is an. Can you imagine after this journey, we can have more vacation? But the important part, we can talk to each other because the struggle, you have to embrace it because the love shows more intimate on that challenges.
One thing I love about our current journey right now is actually it makes our relationship much stronger because we share the same passion, the same goals. Even our long-term goal, also trying to go back, like paying back to the community. Everything flows and binds in sync right now, and we love it. We might have some disagreements. You might say it started to cross over between the business and personal, but ultimately it's so mutual. It actually it makes our love to each other much stronger right now. And even
Got
though
it.
there's some business side also, but then you know what? I do not believe it does really affects the personal side. If it's so, it's more like a feedback. And that makes the relationship much more improved.
Are there ever times that you argue about things in the business, and how do you resolve them?
Well, it's more about like venting, right? Venting about trying to identify what the challenges. And
Yeah.
challenges, we look at challenges more not like a barrier, but it's more like an opportunity for us to
Opportunity.
for to improve. And in that case, initially it was we look at more like initial frustration, but it's more like a pushing us more like a higher level of excitement until we find a solution.
For my side, I will ask myself, are we really going to spend our day arguing or we just let it go
Arguing.
and focus something else, right? So I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
you know what?
Yeah.
I'm not going to waste my time arguing. Let's have fun.
Yeah.
Got
Yeah.
it. Got it. Yeah, that's kind of how Melvin and I operate. He's the one that shuts me down if I want to argue.
Yeah.
He does, and he's like, "No, I don't want to do it."
Yeah,
And we
it's
don't argue. We just have conversations about different things in multifamily. And our son's 8, which you guys already know. Sometimes he says, "Mommy and Daddy, can you please stop talking about real estate?" So you guys have kids as well.
Yeah.
And so we look at him and we go, honey, well, this is our new life.
In
This
your
is
life,
this
buddy.
is like our new job, right? We
Yeah.
used to work, here. Now this is our job, even though it's not really a job. So how do you guys address that with your kids? Do you guys have similar situations where they ask you to turn it off?
Well, for us, because I start young in apartments, so doing the same thing with my kids. What we're doing. When I said young, I started with 13 years old. So apartments like, so in our kids, we're sharing them what we've been doing. But actually, they kind of like it too, because the kids
Okay.
nowadays they love TikTok. They like social media. So I told them, why don't you use your talent in marketing? Marketing the multifamily.
There you go. There you
So
go.
one,
So they work
yeah.
for you guys?
It does work because they have a lot of followers. Oh my gosh, teenager is the best social media
Managers.
managers
All right.
because they know how to connect with people. We were
People.
surprised too. Yeah.
Yeah, and even though they have their own primary goals in terms of their education, their formal education, but then later on they really want to go try to incorporate real estate, maybe multifamily in their own career also later. And they're looking more like same thing with us, more like a long term goal.
Yeah, that's the same as our son. So he says, "Mom and Dad, I still want to be a pilot." But I said, you can be a pilot and choose whatever kind of job you want as
Yep.
being a pilot if you're financially free, right? He can go deliver organs 15 days a month and get
Yeah.
paid a pretty good salary, or he can drive around, somebody famous and make a lot of money, or he can work for commercial airlines. And I
Yeah.
said, if you're financially free by the time you become a pilot, then you will have the
Make
opportunity
choices.
to do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Right. And he wants to buy an airplane, and I let him know how expensive those are.
Yeah.
And so one of our goals this year is to help him get started in being a limited partner, so a passive investor in one of our deals, so that he can kind of put that out on video and share
Yeah.
with our community as well as his. Once we give him a social media account, he's a little too young for that
Oh,
right
yeah.
now.
Yeah.
But I want him to start letting other families know that 8 years old is not too young to get somebody interested in investing or alternative investing. And there's other things out there other than stocks and bonds, which we know. There's our real estate is much more lucrative than doing stocks and bonds.
Yeah.
So,
Same thing also. Same thing
all right,
also.
dear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, so I have a question here for you and Roberto. I'll kind of start with you here. So, talking about advice to other gentlemen like ourselves, right? Working with our wives. So, what advice would you give to other men who are working with their wives in multifamily? So, any nuggets of information you can share on that from an advice standpoint?
Yeah, sure. So one of my advice is they should be always on the same wavelengths in terms of your interests. For example, with multifamily, if you love multifamily, but then your partner doesn't not like it, there's going to be an issue. However, and this one thing I learned from Jennifer: never give up, even though it takes months, years. In my case, took me almost like 15 years to get
Mm.
convinced with real estate. Because I have, in my case, I have this mantra that I need to be the sole provider. I can support my family, but then she has a good point about it. She got this skills about with real estate. So eventually, I listened to her. Then we're going to this path. So my advice for the men is to always don't be patient and don't ever give up. Just keep on bringing up the good points of multifamily investing with your wife also until eventually she will understand about what you actually doing.
So for me,
Awesome. And Jennifer, what about you?
as a wife, learn to trust your husband. Trust their
Yeah.
guts. Because you fall in love for that man because of the same reason. You trust him. So trust is instinct also when it comes to business. But if you notice something that is not right, speak up. Because we have a mouth to speak. So speak
Yeah.
up and tell him, you know what? That suggestion is good. I will give an example, like for our vacation, right? For our vacation. He loves me so much. So if I will choose a vacation, I like it. I will do my research and I like it. But he will tell me, you know what? If you want to go that way, that's fine. I will listen. But how about this? And I will realize his choice much better. It's much better
Mm-hmm.
choice because you know what? We as a woman, we mold our husband the way we want it. So that he stays
Yeah.
getting better as the year goes by. So why not trust your husband on their instinct? And as a woman, just listen to them. And if you don't like it, say something just to polish a little bit. So that's my advice so
Got it.
that you can be in the same page in the business and in your lifestyle.
Also,
Oh,
it's
that's good
something
Awesome.
wisdom.
that is very important.
Awesome.
Also, try to be very open to feedbacks, and you'll save a lot from your businesses also by being receptive to your partner.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So what's next for you two in real estate?
So our plan is we'll continue to move on with this journey and try to expand more and more. Our goal is try to get at least about three deals at this year, or if we can do more, that's better. And eventually, we try to. My case, I try to cut down on my clinical work. Hopefully, by within the next 5 years, will be less than a half of what I'm doing right now. And so, my goal is spend more, like increase my time with my family, with the community, especially with Jennifer, because we love what we're doing right now, and I want to spend more time with her, with this multifamily syndication journey.
For me,
Got it. Now,
yeah, you also focus on friends because sometimes our family members, they're good to mingle with, but aside of cooking and gardening, they don't help us grow. They don't help us to grow because they have limited mindset. They don't expand. They don't have a mentor. So that we figure out that spend little time with them and spend more time people that help you grow. Just like you guys, you help us and we brainstorming what's our next step. So focus on the people that motivate you to grow more.
yep. What's the saying, honey? You're like the the five closest people that you hang with. I think that's what's
Yes.
in back of us there. You become like the five people you most spend the most time with. Yeah, we have these motivational artwork all around. We have another one called Persistence. Don't give up. Keep
Keep going.
going. Rent due. Success is never owned, only rented. And all these kind of things. And we kind of have our son read it, and it's just a testament to us that sometimes things could get hard, but keep moving forward and staying
Yeah.
positive. So
Yeah, I use it as a testament to, they're all over my office. So when I walk, this is there, like my safe haven, right? Like you, Roberto, I work, I got a lot of jobs, right? Got to still provide for the family. But at the end of the day, right, the journey into multifamily, real estate,
Yes,
alternative assets, right? There is light at the end of the tunnel, and I'm looking forward to that day for financial freedom as well, like you both. So, always just kind of persistence is key. And, I mean, love the answers you both gave because the answers that you both gave, I mean, echoes in this household over here,
yeah,
right?
yes,
There's never going to be 100% agreement, right? But we figure out a way and we kind of push through, right? And it's not a he win, she win. I don't try to look at things like that. It's not about he or she. It's about us and moving forward and pushing for the greater good and the greater goal. So I love the answers you guys gave. That kind of fired me up in terms of, man,
let's
we're
go.
thinking along the same wavelength. Hey, let's go now, right? That's why we're in the same ecosystem. That's why we're kind of here today, talking and collaborating, telling listeners and viewers, hey, working with your spouse, could be a great thing, fantastic thing moving forward for the greater good, and not only yourself but for your family and your future as well. So,
Yes,
guys, this has been Fantastic. Fantastic, fantastic. I mean, we really appreciate the opportunity. I know you guys are out west, so a little earlier in your day, and you took the time out to meet with us. So, on behalf of myself, my beautiful wife, Jacqueline, and the Moreland Equity team, we appreciate you guys 120%.
Yeah, we greatly appreciate
Well,
your
thank
time spent with us also. And yeah, keep up the good work and make a big difference to the community.
Yeah.
We
Thank
sure
you.
will. We're
Amen.
working on it every
We're
day.
working on it.
Sure.
Continuous improvement, right? Every day.
Yes. And spread
Hey,
Awesome.
the blessing of multifamily investing.
amen.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Well, we'll see you soon.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you very much. Okay. Thank you.